It's done. The Las Vegas Raiders have signed quarterback Geno Smith to an extension. The deal is for $75.5 million over 2 years. He can get up to $85.5 million with incentives. $65.5 million of it is guaranteed. It looks like a good deal for both sides to me. Smith is a good quarterback, but when you look at the totality of his career and his age, it's hard to give a guy like him top quarterback money. He definitely deserves a raise after playing the way he played the last 3 years, though. Yeah, I know, some of you are out there crying about the move and don't want Smith on the team, but he's a lot better than many of you are giving him credit for. I get it, though. Many of you simply don't know what to make of him because he's a late bloomer. But it was actually his fault that some off the field got in the way. Late bloomer is the label he got for how his career has worked out. However, if you're someone that's been paying attention to his whole career, you know he's had it in him to be solid for a long time now. When he went to the New York Jets in the second round of the 2013 NFL Draft, he struggled his first couple of years like most first-round quarterbacks. But what many either forgot or didn't know is Smith looked as though he was arriving in 2015, his year 3. Smith actually looked really good in the preseason, but his season was cut short for one of the dumbest, most senseless acts in NFL history. Then teammate Ike Enemkpali took off on him in the locker room and broke his jaw over $600. $600. If you're making NFL money, even at the lowest level, that's not a lot of money. Enemkpali was on that lowest level as he was picked in the 6th round in 2014 and on the roster bubble until the Jets cut him after the incident. The incident cost Enemkpali a roster spot and Smith a breakout season and a whole lot of money. It would take Smith 7 years to get to start in the NFL again. After stints with the New York Giants and Los Angeles Chargers, then Seattle Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll saw a diamond in the rough and brought him in to back Russell Wilson up. Then in 2022, he traded Wilson to the Denver Broncos and promoted Smith to starting quarterback. In his first year as a Seahawks starter, he threw for 4,282 yards, 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and a passer rating of 100.9. He went 9-8 into the playoffs with the same team Wilson went 6-8 with the previous year. In 2023, Smith dealt with a strained tricep and missed a couple of games that season. He threw for 3,624 yards, 20 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and a passer rating of 92.1. He went 8-7 that year. In 2024, Smith threw for 4,320 yards, 21 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, and a passer rating of 93.2. Some were critical of the interceptions, but he had the worst offensive line in the NFL in pass protection and was constantly under pressure. Mobile guys like Smith shouldn't get sacked 50 times. So what does having Smith mean? It means they have a quarterback they believe they can win with for the next 3 years and they don't have to draft one at number 6 overall. Head coach Pete Carroll believes in Smith and please believe Brady does too. All you have to do is listen to his broadcast for the Seahawks game he did last year to know his opinion of him. Like I said before, when the Raiders went after Matthew Stafford, the next man down was Smith and that's who they got. That doesn't mean they won't draft a quarterback at number 6 overall though. $66.5 of that $75.5 million is guaranteed, so this is a tweener contract. I don't know all the details, but if the team gets a guy like Shedeur Sanders, who's supposed to fall in this draft, he's going to sit in year 1. That's how Brady came up and he believes in it. That takes care of this year before the contract begins. If Sanders beats Smith out in 2026, $37 million isn't going to kill the Raiders. Neither will the one more year that remains on his contract. I really don't believe Sanders or any of the top quarterback prospects are going to make it down to number 6 though. There simply aren't enough of them. It's lion season, y'all. Our beat writers are talking to executives, but do you believe for a minute these executives are telling the truth? I love all our beat writers, from Vic Tafur to Hondo Carpenter, but what in the world does an executive get out of telling them the truth? They don't want what they think of a player or their draft plans to get out, so every team in the NFL is lying right now. As much as I want the Raiders to take Ashton Jeanty at number 6 overall, I'm not sure they will now. GM John Spytek recently said his son told owner Mark Davis that he isn't doing a good job if he doesn't take Jeanty at number 6 overall. That's what makes me doubt the Raiders are going to pick him. Why would he come out and say that a couple weeks before the draft if he really does plan to do that? The only reason I can think of is the Raiders trying to see if they can get a team that wants them to trade up. Of course, the price would be astronomical to move up to number 6 overall. I guess sometimes you can deceive other teams by hiding the truth in plain sight too, though. What is it, reverse psychology? Either way, the more I hear someone from the Raiders talking about Jeanty, the less I believe they're going to pick him. There are a couple of running backs coming up out of Ohio State this year if the Raiders don't go with Jeanty, though, and they know Chip Kelly's offense. Maybe they get one of those guys in the 2nd round. Then there's the quarterback they could possibly get in round 3 from the same school that also played for Kelly. It's crazy how a national championship winning quarterback like Will Howard will be available that late, so I can't see how they can pass that up. I had to mention Howard first because he knows Kelly's offense, but it doesn't have to be him. This draft class has some nice developmental quarterback prospects in it. I like Jackson Dart, but he might creep into the first round. There's talk about Jalen Milroe going in round 2 or 3. Quinn Ewers is looked at as a guy that can go anywhere from the 2nd round to the 4th. Tyler Shoe's being looked at as a sleeper pick these days. Rounds 3 to 5 are the rounds he's projected to go in. The Raiders are unlikely to start a rookie quarterback regardless this year, so they might as well take a guy that can develop under Smith. That situation would make Smith's contract perfect for the Raiders, but they set themselves up to go whichever way they want. This signing was just like free agency. It told us nothing about the Raiders' draft plans. First off, the Raiders are only giving Smith $31 million this year. And even though I don't believe it, let's say Sanders does fall to 6. Can you really say to yourself that the Raiders aren't going to pick him? And if he does, Brady will sit him year 1. That's his policy. And if Sanders beats him out in year 2, no problem. Smith's not going to make it to his incentives anyway. And by the time it's time for Sanders to get paid, Smith will be gone. And Spike Tech is talking a little bit too much about Genty to actually take him. It's wide open, y'all. Thank you for watching. See you next time.